hence sterling.
For more on finance now, we're joined in the studio by Rod North from Bourse Communications. Rod, good morning.
Good morning.
How are the markets looking?
Well, the market, particularly with the Dow, I mean, we're in that period of time where we've got the Northern Hemisphere summer and we've now got the winter solstice here, and I think the Australian market's probably going into hibernation, and I think a fair few people have headed up to the snow because it's starting to snow. But we've got the Dow looking pretty strong. I mean, it's at an all-time record, and I was just interested to have a bit of a look and see, because we're getting very close to the end of the financial year, to just sort of see where the Dow has sort of been at the beginning of the financial year and where it is now. We've seen a 16% increase against our market, which is about 12%. And of course the US is sort of seeing some pretty positive signs, particularly with jobs data, that the economic recovery there is sort of starting to kick in. So I think, you know, being the biggest economy in the world, that's obviously going to benefit countries like Australia as well, yet our market probably needs a bit of catch-up here.
Can we expect some chopping and changing in this last week before the end of the financial year?
Well, there's always a bit of window dressing that goes on, but I think probably not much is going to happen in the next few days with the, you know, end of the financial year, you know, next Monday. But look, I think overall it's been a bit of a mixed year. I think a lot of people want to see, you know, the budget passed and get on with it, and I think probably equity markets in Australia probably will look a bit more positive over the next 12 months, because I think we're going to go into a phase of, we've had, you know, companies growing pretty much organically. I think we're going to see a lot more strategic acquisition. I mean, people will look to buy growth, so I think that'll help drive our market. So I'm pretty positive for the next 12 months that we'll see a probably stronger All Ordinaries, you know, if we're sitting here in 12 months' time.
And how are some of those key market indicators looking as we head towards the end of the financial year, particularly things like interest rates?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got the cash rate sort of locked in at 2.5%. It hasn't moved since last August. So sort of 9 months later, the expectation probably won't move, you know, even this year. You know, we've got bank bill rates and, you know, the 10-year and bonds and so forth at sort of record low levels as well. So I think people have been able to take great advantage of low interest rates, but I just don't think they want to sort of lull themselves into a false sense of security that they'll be there forever, because just when you think things are going to change, they often do.
Just very quickly, let's finish on what I think is a pretty interesting survey on how people spend their salaries around the country.
Yes, it was quite interesting. That's a thing that ING have just put out, and basically it's take-home pay, and sort of 20% goes towards housing, which probably comes as no surprise. Yeah. But the one that really interested me was 15.5% of what we take home goes to funding technology, basically, so mobile phones, power, and all sorts of communication. So I think that's one of those things, perhaps, you know, that might surprise people a bit, just how much money they do spend on that area. And I suppose if you're going to be investing anywhere, that's probably where the big money's going to be, because most of, you know, that weekly take-home pay, you know, a fair bit of it goes there, as well as obviously holidays. I think I was quite pleased to see that most people spend about $2,000 on a decent holiday.
Yeah, that's right.
Well. I might need to bump up my spending in that area this year, I think.
I think that probably would be a good idea, particularly at the moment with the weather the way it is.
Sounds good, Rod. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Rod. A reminder coming up in the next